Good evening and welcome to Eleanor's Place. We have a dynamic show again this week and we are just certainly happy to have our guest. And we're so happy that you all have joined in. My name is Eleanor Harrison and this is Pam Hall. And Pam is the Director of Community Health Services for the Susan B. Komen. It's a foundation.
Yes, Susan G. Komen for the Cure.
Susan G. Komen for the Cure. And it is a foundation, and we're happy to have her with us this evening. And we also have Marion Jones, who is a community advocate. And our topic this evening is going to be breast cancer awareness. And we would like for you to call in if you have any questions, and we will certainly be happy to try to answer all of your concerns today. And we're going to start out with Pam Hall this evening and asking her to tell us a lot about that good program and all those good things that they're doing for the community.
Thank you, Eleanor. Yes, we do have a great organization. Susan G. Komen for the Cure is the largest grassroots breast cancer organization in the world. And a lot of our work is done by volunteers, like we have right here today. Our mission is to save lives from breast cancer. And how do we do that? First of all, we empower others with the knowledge of their own breast health. Secondly, we ensure access to quality breast care to all. We do that by investing in our grants program. And finally, we energize science to find the cure, and that means lots of research because, ladies and gentlemen, we want to find a cure for breast cancer in my lifetime. So, we're an organization of 122 affiliates around the United States and 3 overseas. And we are committed to keeping a promise that was made between 2 sisters, one of whom was Susan G. Komen. And I'd like to tell people who Susan G. Komen was because I think it explains what our mission is and how our vision is a world without breast cancer. Susie Komen was a wife, a mother, a daughter, and a sister, roles that many of us women share. She lived in Peoria, Illinois. And at the age of 33, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The year was 1977. There was a time when physicians just simply didn't always know how to treat breast cancer. They did all they could for Susie, but after 3 years, she lost her battle to breast cancer at the age of 36, unfortunately. But her sister Nancy was at her side for the whole 3 years. She fought with her. And in her final days, Nancy promised Susie that she would do everything in her power to end this dreadful disease. That launched Susan G. Komen for the Cure, and 30 years later, we're enjoying many successes in the realm of breast cancer. More women are getting mammograms. More women are surviving. There are 2.6 million survivors of breast cancer in the United States. That's the largest group of cancer survivors anywhere. So we're proud of those victories. We've come a long way in 30 years. So how do we keep the promise here in Central Virginia? Our affiliate office, there are only 4 of us, 4 people on staff, but many volunteers. We keep that promise that Nancy made to her sister Susie by lots of fundraising. Thanks to events like Race for the Cure, which you might have attended on Mother's Day weekend. We thank you for your support. We look forward to seeing you next year. I got to plug that. And the generosity of our many donors and sponsors, we can raise revenue that we can invest into a very competitive grants program whereby we award funding to nonprofit organizations, state agencies, educational institutions that will provide breast health education, screening, and treatment programs. Currently, we are investing about over $587,000 with 13 organizations in Central Virginia to provide much-needed services to women who are uninsured and or low income. So we're very proud of that. So how do we do all the work we do? Well, we couldn't do it without you all. And I encourage everyone who's listening to please join us in this fight against breast cancer, because with only 4 people in the office, we cannot do it alone. So join us. We offer educational trainings every so often. We like to train volunteers so that they can go back out into the community and share the importance of breast health with others. I'm not a medical professional, but I care very deeply about the women in our community and that they each know that early detection saves lives.
Thank you. That's a lot of information.
Yeah,
I tell
I
you,
could go on and on.
I know it. I love it. I love it. And we do want to plug in the walk this weekend that we're having on June 2nd. And I've been, and so many of us have been working at different churches, and we're going to list these churches. All of these churches will have a little small training before the walk this Saturday. We trained last Saturday, a lot of us, and some of the newcomers who are coming in this Saturday, on Saturday, June 2nd, we will do a small training again. So we would like for you to meet with us because we need you. We're knocking on doors. And we're going to distribute information, breast health information. We'll be promoting breast health awareness, and we'll be also stressing the importance of early detection. And we're going to make sure that those without insurance become aware of healthcare resources in the Richmond area. And we believe that all of this excellent information is important. So where are we meeting? We are meeting at 9 a.m. at the 31st Street Baptist Church, and that's located at 823 North 31st Street. We are also meeting at Bethlehem Baptist Church, that's my church, at 1920 Fairman Avenue, and also at Ebenezer Baptist Church, 216 West Lee Street, Fresh Anointing Cathedral, located at 3001 2nd Avenue, Morning Star Baptist Church in Southside, and that's located at 3509 Midlothian Turnpike, and Richmond's First Baptist Church, 2709 Monument Avenue, and Second Baptist Church at 3300 Broad Rock Boulevard. Now, if you just don't remember where these churches are located, you can give Joe White a call. She's with the Guardian Angels. And of course, they would like for all of you to come out and join us in this walk so that we can promote a time to live. And this is a walk for early detection that's so important. And Joe White's number is 804-937-6836. And we do want and we need you to join us this Saturday at 9 a.m. at one of the churches. And then we're going to speak with Marion Jones. And Marion is a community advocate for breast cancer awareness. And she has a story that she would like to share. And we love that so much, having her on the show this evening. Marion.
Yes, it may be someone out there tonight that may be getting ready to go through the process that I had to go through. Well, back in 1990, I found a lump in my breast, and it was small as a pea, but I thought there wasn't anything to be really concerned about. I was 36, didn't have any reason to believe that it could have been cancerous. So when I went to my doctor for my yearly exam, he felt that it wasn't a problem. I wasn't 40 and didn't need a baseline mammogram. However, in 1991, when I went back to the doctor, they found out that it was cancerous, and in my case, it had advanced to my lymph nodes. And once it had advanced to my lymph nodes, they had to do advanced treatment. And they said that they wasn't sure if it had gone all the way through my body, but to make sure that it did not, they only had maybe one clinical trial that would probably help knock all of the cancer cells out of my body. So what I did was I had some research done, and glory to God, I had a wonderful cousin that rallied around me, along with my sisters, my family, church friends, and we just got a lot of information and helped caught me up, because back then there wasn't a lot of awareness about breast cancer. So then we found out with the autologous bone marrow transplant, maybe that would be an option for me. However, I ran into another stumbling block. They said that, your insurance may not pay for it because this is a clinical trial. So glory be to God, the insurance company that I had, they was out of New York. And New York insurance company stated that I could have the autologous bone marrow transplant. So from there, it was a long journey, but I had a lot of support, and I'm just so grateful for the community for rallying around me. And my way of giving back is going back into the community and being an advocate for breast cancer. So as I was saying, the journey was long, but it was well worth it. You're talking about now 22 years later, and I'm still alive. And it do not have to be a death sentence, but you can live and go through the process, but early detection really and truly do save lives.
Thank you, Marion.
Welcome.
And we want to stress that there are some things that we certainly can do ourselves as women and men, because men get breast cancer as well. And we can do what we call some people call it a self-breast or a breast self. We're going to call it a self-breast exam. And Marion, when you used to do those self-breast exams, this is the reason and how Marion was able to feel that tiny little pea that was there, but it was hard.
Yes.
And it never moved.
No.
It never moved. So we are asking that at least we do a breast self-exam. And if we're not able to go to a clinical setting, that's to a doctor, try to go to a gynecologist, or if you don't want your regular doctor to do your clinical exam, then if you go to a gynecologist, then if you ask them, or if you ask your regular doctor, they will do a breast exam on you at least once a year. And then we know for a fact that we need those mammograms starting at age 40. However, with Marion, she was age 36. So we know for a fact that there are women out there that may be younger than 40 years old that may have felt a lump in the breast and said, well, I'm not 40 yet, so I don't need to, really go in for a mammogram, and I don't need to go to a doctor to really get him or her to examine me. And we're saying, yes, you do, because of the fact that early detection is the key. And we are so happy that Marion went in, even though the doctor said, well, it wasn't in the history. And we know for a fact that it doesn't have to be in a history, or it could be that we don't know all of our history.
Yeah.
Because some folk, for example, my grandmother's great-great-grandmother, we had no history on those folk at all. So we don't know what happened way back when. So if we feel those lumps, we need to get into a doctor or somewhere right away so that we can get it checked out. And Marion, we're so happy. And what you said, 22 years.
22.
And by golly, I'm going to say that's the work of the Lord.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. To God be the glory.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
and it had not spread to any of her other organs.
Yes.
And that was wonderful. And so she has a story to tell. And that's why we see that we need to get out there and get into the community and knock on those doors so that we can promote early detection and breast self-exam. We want to let folk know that they need to start. If we have not been doing that, we need to start. If we have not or do not know the resource places where we can go for those clinical exams, we will be giving out that information on Saturday. And we will have a packet of information that we will be leaving on the door handles if no one is at home. But we're hoping that we can reach as many people as possible and talk to them for just a minute. It's not going to be a long talk because we have some little private things that we want to say to them. And early detection is that key. We can give them those resources that they need to get those mammograms if they don't have funds. And of course, they can do a breast self-exam, and we want them to have that clinical exam as well. And I know that, ma'am, you said about your insurance.
Yes.
But now, but in the meantime, you found out that they did pay for the bone marrow transplant.
Yes. With the autologous bone marrow transplant, it was a clinical trial, so that made it not available with a lot of insurance company at that time. So what we had to do was to find out if my insurance company was one of the companies that did pay, and in fact they did. So I was truly blessed to have had the opportunity for that door to be open for me to go through. And going through that process, I had to have a bone marrow transplant, a stem cell transplant, extremely high doses of chemotherapy, radiation, had to have white blood cells given back to me, platelets given back to my system, hemoglobin given back to my system. So really and truly, it was a long journey, but truly well worth it. And I'm blessed to be able to be here today to say, to God be the glory.
Yeah.
To God be the glory.
And early detection
is the key.
We cannot stress that enough.
And can I just
Yes,
add that in
Bill.
addition to finding a lump, which in many cases is not cancer, so we don't want anybody to be frightened, but
Yes.
do go get it checked out right away. In addition, there are visual changes that
Yeah.
may occur, or there may be symptoms of breast cancer. If there's dimpling or puckering or redness or swelling of the breast, inversion of the nipple, unusual discharge, those kinds of visual symptoms should also be reported immediately to your doctor. And the mammogram, I also would love for women to know that there are resources out there. If you can't afford a mammogram, we can find the resources for you. And I would love to help connect you with some of our Komen grantees who are providing free mammograms, or some of the programs through the Virginia Department of Health, or your free clinic. So please don't hesitate to have that done. As Eleanor said, every year beginning at age 40, a woman should have a mammogram. And you also brought up men, and I'm glad you didn't leave our gentleman friends out.
Right.
Men can and do get breast cancer. Their risk is only about 1 in 1,000.
Right.
But the risk is there. And so men, please be just as diligent as women in checking your breasts for any unusual changes, and don't be shy about seeking help from your healthcare provider.
Right. And Richard Roundtree, I'll never
That's
forget.
right.
He's an actor, and he said that in the shower one morning, he was taking a shower and he happened to hit up on his chest near his nipple, and he found a lump. And he said, wow, what is this? And so he went in, and he has been advocating ever since for breast exam for males as well. So men, we do not want to leave you out. Early detection is the key. And if you feel a lump, don't hesitate. We know that a lot of the men do not like to go to doctors. But when you feel something out of the ordinary, or even the discoloration, or any drainage or anything like that, like Pam said, you need to check in with your service providers. And
Do it for those who love
yeah,
you.
do it for those who
Do
love
it for
you.
those who love you.
Yes, indeed. And right now, I have a couple of announcements that I would like to announce, because we are all in this together. We're trying to get health information out there to the community so that we can certainly keep our community healthy. And we would like to announce that the dental care, it says dental care at a reasonable cost. And of course, that's with the Vernon J. Harris Medical and Dental Center. And of course, they're located at 719 North 25th Street. And the telephone number is 804-253-1972. And they also have one at Glenwood Medical and Dental Center, and that's at 2709 Byron Street in Richmond. And that number is 804-525-1835. So if you need extractions or dentures or fillings or cleanings or emergency care, then you can certainly give these folk a call, because they have dental care at a reasonable cost. And I also want to talk to you about the Richmond Smiles. That's one of the health vans that goes around, and that health van will be at Hatchkis Field over at 701 East Brooklyn Park Boulevard. They will be there on June 6th, and they said first come, first serve. And of course, if you need to be there, you have to get there early. So that's on June 6th, 701 East Brooklyn Park Boulevard, and they will be, this is the dental van, and it's called Richmond Smiles. They will be at Hatchkis Field Recreational Center, June 6th, and they're located at 701 East Brooklyn Park Boulevard. Also, the van will be located at St. Augustine Church, and that's located at 4400 Beulah Road, and they're there on Tuesdays, and these are the dates: Tuesday, June 12th, Tuesday, June 19th, and of course, Tuesday, June 26th. And again, they say first come, first serve, so you have to get there early. Now, they will also be located over at Bond Secure Richmond Community Hospital, and that's located 1500 North 28th Street, and they're there on Wednesdays, June 13th, June 20th, and June 27th. And this is for Richmond Smiles, the health van for dental services. And also they will be located at Ramsey Memorial Church, 5900 Hall Street Road on Thursdays. They will be there Thursday, June 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. And again, first come, first serve. For information, if you want to call the health van, the number is 804-381-2624. And these services, they said that these services are routinely provided for people who do not have routine dental health care. So if you need to go over, and if you're uninsured, if you don't have that dental health card and no insurance, then of course you can really go over there and let Richmond Smiles cause you to smile again by getting all your teeth fixed. So there's some announcements that we have this evening. And if you have any questions, you can certainly call us. And I do believe that the telephone number is up on the screen. So if you see that and you want to give us a call in, you certainly can. And we want to go back to Marion because we think that that's so important. And she's made some strides. She's been a survivor of breast cancer for, this is going into the 22nd year. Yes. And she's going to be walking with us on Saturday.
Yes.
So if you have from over at the Bethlehem Baptist Church, and if you heard the churches, and we're going to give those out again, and if you are a survivor, or if you just want to just come on out and walk with us to get, pass out information and promote awareness within our community on early detection for breast cancer awareness, then we'll be happy to have you. And if you know of someone that would like to walk with us, then tell all your friends. And I think at most of the churches, they're going to have some water and some pastries and coffee and juice and what have you. So come on in, and it's going to be a fun day to get out there and try to do some good things for our community. We would certainly love to have you to join us. And Pam, if you want to talk about any other programs that you all may be reinforcing over at Susan D. Coleman, you can.
Okay, thank you, Eleanor.
Uh-huh.
Well, as I mentioned, a lot of the work we do is to raise awareness in the community about the importance of early detection. We've talked a lot about that tonight. There are really 4 points that when we train volunteers to go back out into the community, we ask them to know 4 things that are most important to breast self-awareness and early detection. First of all is to know your risk. Know what your family history is. As Eleanor said earlier, not all of us know, but it's important. If someone in your family, you're either on your mother's side or your father's side, has had breast cancer, then you're at slightly elevated risk for having it yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have breast cancer, but you are at a little bit higher risk. And I say that, in fact, that most breast cancers are not inherited. So what are you going to say to your friend who says, I'm not worried about breast cancer, it doesn't run in my family? You're going to say, no, you still need to think about breast cancer and be very vigilant in checking your own self for any abnormalities and making sure that you get screened. So the second principle is get screened. What do I mean by that? Get checked for breast cancer. If you're a young woman between the ages of, say, 20 and 39, you should be having a clinical breast exam by your doctor or your nurse practitioner every 3 years. Then when you get to that magical age of 40, and sometimes younger, your healthcare provider will recommend that you have a mammogram, which is a screening x-ray of your breast. It's not a chest x-ray, it's actually an examination of your breast by an x-ray machine. So you want to have that done every year beginning at age 40. Thirdly, who knows your body better than you? No one. So know what is normal for you. Check for those visual signs that I mentioned earlier. See if there's any redness, dimpling, puckering, sudden discharge, pain that doesn't go away. Not all symptoms of breast cancer are lumps. Although lumps can be a sign of breast cancer, they are not always. Not all lumps are cancer. And fourthly, the fourth principle of breast self-awareness and taking good care of yourself is to make those healthy lifestyle choices, which none of us like to talk about, right? We'd much rather take the elevator instead of the stairs, but won't it help your weight if you are exercising more, if you just try to get a little bit of exercise in every day? If you eat healthy, have lots of fruits and vegetables, that should help you reduce your risk for breast cancer. Limit your alcohol intake, and breastfeed if you can. All those have been shown to reduce your risk for breast cancer. We can't control it, but we can try our best to reduce our risk. So when we train others to go out into the community, that's basically what I've just told you. We will train our volunteers. They go back out into the community and share that with their church members, with their family members, friends, and neighbors. And if we all work together, I just have to believe that we're going to beat this disease. Anything
Definitely.
else? That was a mouthful.
Oh, yeah, but we love it. We love it. And it was like one of the stats that you wanted us to remember. Could you let us know what that stat was?
One of the, I guess, the most well-known statistics about breast cancer is that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. That's a lot of women. We have seen more diagnosis of breast cancer over the years, partly, in fact, that more women are being screened.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have, some more deaths from breast cancer from those women who are not being screened early enough. If you're screened early and the breast cancer is detected early when it's still within the breast and it hasn't spread to another part of the body, then your survival rate is 98% after 5 years. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We want it to be 100%, and we'll get there one day as research finds the cures and the preventions. But for right now, we're going to keep chipping away at that, and we're going to make sure that every woman knows that early detection is the key to survival. So be very self-aware. Like Marion, check your breasts, know what is normal for you, know your family history, get screened, and maintain a healthy lifestyle, and all that will bode well for you.
Certainly. And Marion, what about those folk that you met? You was telling me about some folk that you met during the time that, I believe, were you in rehab during that time, but it was like you were
when I was going through the bone marrow transplant, we was behind an iron door, because by that time everything was so new, so fresh, they didn't know what we could come in contact with. And it was about 7 of us behind the iron door, and we was going through the process. And basically, I just had to hold on to hope and just trust in the Lord. And just from going through that process, every one of those individuals back there saw the goodness of God moving, that they called their pastors in, they hadn't been to church in years. And they said, hold it, we have all of this medication hooked up to us, and this lady is only on saline. I think not. We called my pastor, and those people got saved, and it was just such a blessing. So it was more than just me going through the process, but other people also came into the knowledge of Jesus Christ as well, So
wonderful.
That was just such a blessing.
That's
It
wonderful.
really was a blessing.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you are looking just like the picture of
She
health.
does. She does.
Yeah, you look just like the picture of health.
You
Yeah.
give hope to all women,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I hope that after the viewers have seen Marion, that they will know that there is hope. And she
Oh,
did have an
yes.
arduous journey
Yes.
through chemo, but look how beautiful and just vital and vibrant she is.
Amen.
Amen.
It's just a blessing to still be alive, and I still take my spiritual medicine. Thank you, Lord, for my healing.
Right.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And I
That's
remember when all your hair came out.
all of it.
All of them
Yes.
came out. Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So that's, it's not a death sentence.
No, it's not.
It's really not a death sentence, and we want to, get that word out there that early detection is the key.
Yes.
And we want
Really is.
people to understand that there are some places out there that they can go if they need to have a mammogram and they don't have the money. There are some places out there and programs that can certainly help get you to that next level that you need to be. And so if anyone needs the services, then we certainly want to get the word out there that there are services that are certainly available. And we want you to know that.
And Eleanor, if I might share our
Sure,
phone number,
sure,
if
sure,
anybody has
sure.
questions about breast health or where to find the resources for to receive a mammogram, if you would call the Komen Central Virginia office at area code 804-320-1772. And we'll be able to connect you with the services, whether you are in need of a mammogram or you've been recently diagnosed and you need support materials, or I forgot to mention our Worship in Pink program. If your faith organization is thinking about raising awareness amongst your members and your men and women, then we will provide you with all the materials to conduct a breast cancer awareness program. Whenever you want to do it and however you want to do it, we'll give you tips on great ways to engage your congregation and really let others know the importance of early detection. So that phone number at our office is 804-320-1772.
Good, thank you, Pam. And I would like to give out the names of the shareholders too that are helping to sponsor the Time to Live first annual breast cancer walk for early detection this Saturday. And of course it will be, it's brought to us in association with the Richmond Guardian Angels, the VCU Massive Cancer Center, Susan G. Coleman for the Cure, the Virginia Breast Cancer Foundation, Crossover Ministry, Virginia Department of Health, Fan Free Clinic, Bon Secours, and the Capital Area Health Network. So all of these organizations have joined together to promote this breast cancer walk, and we're certainly happy for that. And just like we're saying, if you want and feel that you need to come out and walk with us, and we'll be knocking on doors on this Saturday. And I will give you these churches again because this is important. We need to get out there and, what we said, stomp some of those bricks.
Yes.
And knock on these doors and carry that message out there that, of course, we are trying to get folk in for early detection. And we want to distribute the breast health information and make those aware that if they do not have insurance, then we do have health care resources here in the city of Richmond. The breast cancer walk, Time to Live, we are meeting at the 31st Street Baptist Church. That's at 823 North 31st Street at 9 a.m. And folks say, well, what am I supposed to wear? Well, you know, you put on your walking shoes and put on your jeans
And your best pink.
and you know, if you have like a pink T-shirt or whatever, and if you don't have anything pink, then we have pink ribbons that we're going to give you when you get to churches. But so you be comfortable. 823 North 31st Street is 31st Street Baptist Church, and the time is 9 a.m. for all of these churches. Bethlehem Baptist Church, 1920 Fairmont Avenue, Ebenezer Baptist Church, 216 West Lee Street, and Fresh Anointing Cathedral, that's located at 3001 2nd Avenue, Morning Star Baptist Church in South Richmond, that's at 3509 Midlothian Turnpike, Richmond's First Baptist Church, that's at 2709 Monument Avenue, and the Second Baptist Church located at 3300 Broad Rock Road. So this is going to be a time that we're going to get out there and knock on doors and carry that message on about early detection is the key, and to distribute some excellent information about breast health awareness. And we do believe that a lot of women and men may be out there that can benefit from this information. And this is one of the reasons that all of us are working together to keep these communities healthy, because we know for a fact that folk are out there that need this information. And it take us, the advocates all over this country. We have advocates who really believe just like we do. And that's why they work so hard, and we have passions for this. And we need volunteers to help us get that message out. So if you want to walk, just show up at 9 o'clock, tog down with your good walking shoes on, and we'll be happy to have you to join us. And is anything else that you want to say, Marion? If you could have some words to say to the community, what would you definitely want them to know?
That if there is any type of clinical trial that's out there, I think it's something that is worth researching, because it could be that open door that you could go through that really could help you also with any type of breast cancer that may have advanced itself as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I think for more information, I'd like to give out a website.
Wonderful.
That's
Wonderful.
packed with loads of information. You could spend days on there. But Susan G. Komen for the Cure has a website, and it's www.komen.org. And you should be able to have all of your questions answered there. We also have a helpline that's manned by trained breast health specialists who can help you with your questions. If you're just kind of wondering about something and you need to talk to a professional, you can dial 1-877-GO, Komen, Komen. And we have bilingual specialists who can also speak with those who are Spanish speakers.
Wonderful.
And really get your questions answered about breast health by a professional. But that website again is www.komen.org if you have internet access.
Wonderful. And
Right.
we also have prepared some packets that are in Spanish as well that we're going to be giving out in several of the neighborhoods. So that there will be Spanish, information given out too. And we are so happy to be, able to do that this Saturday as well. So we're asking, we do need volunteers. So, and we've given out those churches. So if you feel the need to come out and say, well, I do want to be a part of this great effort to promote breast cancer awareness, we would certainly be happy to have you at any of these locations that we've given out. And I do want to give Joe's number out as well, because of the fact she's with the Garden Angels and they are one of the sponsors. And if you have any questions, and if you forget where the church is that may be near you, you could give Joe a call. And she, if you don't have a computer or something like that to go on website, she's at 804-937-6836. Again, 804-937-6836. Yes, indeed. And we do want to say that we're just so happy that Marion could join us this evening, because she has a story to tell. And to be a survivor for almost 22 years is just certainly wonderful. And sitting here looking like the picture of health. So we know for a fact that early intervention is the key. And the fact of it is, breast cancer is not a death sentence. We have a lot of survivors, many survivors all over this country.
Right.
And we are very proud of our survivors. And they are out there. A lot of the survivors have become advocates as well. And they are out there just stomping and walking and doing everything so that we can promote this wonderful awareness about breast cancer. And it's just like any other illness. It's not a death sentence. It can be treated. But we know for a fact early detection is the key. And we know for a fact, too, that really exercise and eating
Yes.
properly, you know, your
Yes.
fruits and we can't get enough of fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
And we were talking about that the other night on the show about people said, well, I just don't, you know, it's so expensive. I just can't buy the fresh fruit. Well, we said, well, the canned fruits are good in light syrup or no syrup. We're not trying to say in all this really syrup. No. We're saying in light syrup or no syrup. All those fruits out there, they have the pineapples, the peaches, the apples. I mean, all those good things out there. And the blueberries, you know, we can buy those fresh. And, you know, and eat as many fruits and vegetables as you possibly can. And exercise.
That's
And
right.
that's another thing. We want to say that a lot of the ladies and the guys, yeah, we accepting guys to walk with us too. And we're
Yeah.
saying that gives you a chance to get out there and
That's
get
right.
some exercise.
Yes.
Because some people say, well, you know, I don't have a walking partner. Well, you will have a walking partner Saturday.
Lots of them.
Lots of them if you show up at one of these churches.
Yes.
And we definitely need you to be a part of this program. And so just look back in the closet and pull your walking shoes out and come on out there to whatever church that you feel that is near you. And we can certainly use, you know, your participation. We certainly can. And did you want to say anything more about your program?
I just
Good.
wanted to add, we've talked about early detection and how important it is. And we've talked about the ways that we can detect breast cancer early by, like Marion said, you know, checking your breasts yourself, checking for any abnormal lumps or any signs, outward signs that may indicate a problem. We talked about a clinical breast exam that your healthcare provider actually does a manual exam on a woman's breast to make sure that everything is healthy. And then we've talked about the mammogram and the importance of mammogram. You know, it is really the gold standard for detecting breast cancers. When you find a lump on your own, it's usually very large, believe it or not, but a mammogram can detect a lump when it's minuscule. And really, if that lump can be treated when it's that small, your chances for recovery and for treatment are so much better. So that's why we encourage women to get a mammogram. But without fail, I'm always told, but it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that all the time? It hurts.
It does.
And you know, let's just say it's just a couple of seconds. It's really momentary. It's fleeting. And then, you know, you get that letter in the mail that says, "Dear Ms. Hall, your mammogram shows no sign of breast cancer." And boy, what a good feeling. And I've forgotten about the pain when I get that letter.
Yes,
I forget
indeed.
about that.
Yes,
But you know,
indeed.
if you really are having trouble with that, you could take a couple of Tylenol before your mammogram. That'll help with the pain. And you can, and if it's really excruciating, you can speak with your technician and see if there's, you know, the chance that you could be repositioned so that it's not so uncomfortable.
Right.
So I don't want to hear anybody say that it hurts too much, I can't go, because it's fleeting. And, you know, I also give tips like if your friend is really, really just putting her foot down and she's not going to go, say, let's go together. I'll go
Right.
with you, and then we'll go out to lunch and celebrate.
Yes.
And that seems to ease people's fears and make it because it is a celebration.
It is.
And everybody should get their mammogram at the right age. And we recommend that it's at age 40, beginning at age 40, every single year. Now, your doctor, after talking with him or her, you know, they may suggest that you have a mammogram earlier. If your mother had breast cancer, then they may suggest that you have a mammogram starting at age 35, and there are many of you out there, I'm sure, who've had that done. But the end result of getting that letter that says,
yeah,
you
makes
know,
you feel
you're
good.
cancer-free,
Yes.
that's what you want to get.
Yeah.
I do want to add, though, that sometimes you're called back. You know, they'll call you and say, well, we need to take some more pictures. Now, that's not a reason for alarm. It's just that they didn't quite see what they wanted to on the first round, so they want to go in a little closer and focus on some area that this just looks interesting to them. So don't be afraid by that. And here we have Marion, beautiful, radiant, vibrant survivor. And
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Almost 22 years.
22
She's
years.
happy for that. Yes,
I
indeed.
I am.
Yeah, and all of us are happy for that. Yes, 22 years, almost 22
right.
years.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm so happy you said something about the mammogram and hurting, because
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people say. Oh, don't even mention it, because I can say the pain.
Yeah.
Well, it's only for a few minutes, and
That's
it's
right.
not something, and you know, and we always say, well, it's not something that's going to last always. So if it's only for a few minutes, and it's so important that we have them done, and so just gear yourself up for,
That's right.
you know, when you have to go and say, well, I'm going on in, it's only going to last for a few minutes, and then, like Pam said, go out to lunch afterwards.
Celebrate.
Whatever, celebrate.
Celebrate.
Because of the fact that we do need these tests done, and they will certainly pick up, you know, what we're looking for, certainly.
That's right. And two, you know, many women are afraid that if they are diagnosed with breast cancer, if breast cancer is found, that they won't be able to afford treatment.
Right.
I will say we're very fortunate here in the city of Richmond to have programs that will help women with their treatment all the way through. So I don't want that to be a fear, you know. So the fear of the pain and the fear of the actual diagnosis, we want to just comfort women and let them know that there are resources out there for you.
Right. Because certain things that we feel can, you know, be negative, we know for a fact that they can we can, you know, turn them in to a positive situation.
Yes.
And even though we know for a fact that, you know, some women and men have been affected with it and infected with, you know, with breast cancer, the fact of it is, we know for a fact that some of them are doing well.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that early detection, and we can't say it enough,
I know.
Yeah.
is the key.
It is.
And that's with any of our health issues out there. We're saying that we got to get in and get it taken care of as quickly as we can.
Yes.
And I do want to give Joe's number out again. And her number, if she's with the Guardian Angels, if you would like to walk and you say, well, I forgot where the 31st Street Baptist Church is. Or I forgot where Morning Star is, Baptist Church. And of course, Joe's number is 804-937-4636. Let me put these glasses on. I might be reading the wrong thing. Oh, me, I'm sorry. It's 804-937-6836. 6836. 804-937-6836. And that's for Joe White, and she's in charge of the Guardian Angels. And they will be walking with us at the different churches as well on Saturday, June 2nd. At 9 in the morning, we're supposed to meet at these churches. And of course, we'll be finishing, going home and everything we're looking at before 12. And a lot of us are happy that we can, you know, help them out, and all the other organizations that I've named as well. And we're going to have one last thought, Marion, from each of us. And do you have one last thought? Did you want to say something about your fear? Don't let that.
Yes, do not let your fear stop you. Because if I had gone and got in earlier and did not wait a year, then I would have saved my breast, and it would just been a lumpectomy versus having to have the whole breast removed.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, do not let fear stop you. Be empowered. Get some knowledge, and then move forward.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Pam?
Oh, I've got two things. You know,
Good,
you can't stop me at
wonderful.
one.
I love it.
First is that we've talked so much about early detection, and it is so very important. And I want to just reemphasize that it's for all women, young women and older women. I think the perception is that breast cancer is an older woman's disease. We are noticing that young African American women are being more diagnosed. And we don't know why, but there has been an increase in incidence in young African American women. So be vigilant about knowing your breasts and checking them visually and with your hands to make sure there are no lumps in there. So that's my one, that breast cancer is a risk factor for all women and the occasional man. We estimate between 50 and 60 men here in Virginia will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. Mm-hmm. That's not a lot, but they still need to be very diligent about checking themselves. Mm-hmm. And secondly, I would invite all of your viewers to join us as breast health advocates. Not medical professionals, we don't know it all, right. But again, we care very deeply about the women in our city and want to give them and let them know their best possible chance for survival of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I would just like to thank my guests this evening, Pam Hall and, of course, Marion Jones. Thank both of you so much for being here. And you have really, both of you have really enlightened this community with all of the wonderful things that have gone on within your programs and going on within your life too, Marion, as being a community advocate. And again, I just want to thank all of you for listening in and tuning in, and be sure to tune in with us again next week. We will have a dynamic show. So please tune in next week with us. I believe that Mr. Al Jackson from over at the Healing Place will be here next week. Also, Susan from the Fan Free Clinic will be here, and Angela will be here from the VCU HIV/AIDS Center. So we will have a dynamic show again next week. And we're hoping that we can certainly continue to pass on the good and needed information so that we can just help to keep our community healthy. And again, don't forget Saturday, June 2nd, we're going to have that breast cancer walk, A Time to Live. And please come out to one of the churches very quickly, the 31st Street Baptist Church at 9 o'clock in the morning. All of the times are the same. 31st Street Baptist Church, 823 North 31st, Bethlehem Baptist Church, 1920 Fairmont Avenue, Ebenezer Baptist Church, 216 West Lee, and of course, Fresh Anointing Cathedral, 3001 2nd Avenue, Morning Star Baptist Church in the South Side at 3509 Midlothian Turnpike, and Richmond's First Baptist Church at 2709 Monument Avenue, and Second Baptist Church located at 3300 Broad Rock Boulevard. We will be convening at all of these churches at 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning, and we are going to prepare all the volunteers to go out and just speak with everyone, knock on doors, speak with as many folk as we can, and get this word out that early detection is the key. We are certainly concerned about our community, and we want to promote breast cancer awareness. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening, and thank you all again for coming in.
So
thank
welcome.
you for having us.